in the city, a very gracious individual to take some time out upon his unfortunate release this weekend by the team. We are now joined by the former fullback of the Montreal Alouettes. You can follow him on twitter.com/Kerry Carter. It is Kerry Carter. Hi, Kerry. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm very good. Very good. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Mo Khan also in studio here. Mo.
Kerry, let's talk about the big news that came about over the weekend. How did this come with the situation with you and the Alouettes releasing you and moving off to a different direction?
I mean, I think it's just kind of been a process over this off season. I restructured my contract earlier on in the off season, to give them a little extra room just based on, my playing time over this past year and whatnot. And, honestly, I thought that was it. At that point, I thought we came to an agreement, and that would be it. I'll go into the last year of my contract, finish off as an Alouette, and see what happens then. But past weekend, this past week I was down in Barbados representing, our team at the annual general meetings for the CFLPA reps and during the first year of the CFL fantasy camp. And, I was contacted by them and notified that I was being released and they were going in a different direction. Not really much explanation at that point, but it's a business, and as unfair things might seem right now or at the time, I understand business. I understand business decisions. I just feel like there should be a certain code of conduct in terms of how you treat players. And, my time there has been great. I've enjoyed my time in Montreal a lot. And, you just want to go out the right way. And I don't think I was prepared for this news right now, but not very often that you are. So here we are at the moment.
You mentioned you were notified, I guess, in a very sort of, business cutthroat manner. How specifically were you notified?
I don't know if I can even say that on the air right now. Well, they just put it this way. They couldn't reach me by phone, so I was notified in another way.
And is this a case, Kerry, where is it fair to say, is it possible to say, based on your experience and former players of the team, so forth, is it becoming a situation where people don't want to play for the Alouettes because of potentially the cutthroat manner in which players are dealt with?
I don't know. I don't know if that you can say that for sure. I've been inside the organization for a while, so the response that I've seen outside of the team has been positive in terms of wanting to be a part of that culture, and that it's a culture that breeds on success. So I think people want to be around that. But yeah, the standard and the way that you treat people, and no matter what type of business you're in, reflects on you as an organization, reflects on you as a person, as wherever if you're a coach, if you're a front office, it reflects on you. So I think that plays a big part in how people view you. So, every time somebody gets out of there and there's some story around the way they were treated or the way they were informed or the way they were released, then people start to pick up on that stuff. But, it's something that, needs to be addressed. But as long as the team and the organization continues to have success, I don't know if that will ever be the main focus of anyone, or whether it's the media or the players coming in.
Kerry Carter joining us here on the program. Kerry, is it maybe fair to say that the Alouettes waited this long to release you, to make sure that maybe a team like Toronto didn't pick you up, of course, where you're from? Could that be one of the reasons why they waited until this late a date? Had you been released a couple months ago, would it have given you more options?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, ideally, when we talked about restructuring the deal, then if they didn't see a role for me in the future, then I think that would have been the time for it to have happened. But it's not really you gotta really think about it. Who they're going to put first? They're going to put the team first and themselves and look out for them. they're not really thinking, in long term, like, okay, well, how can we best serve this player that we're parting ways with? As an organization, you would like to think that they would do the right thing that way, but not very many teams would do that. Like, no one wants to see someone go to their, rival or someone, within their division or whatnot. So, they're keeping their focus on what it needs to be focused on, which is them, and it's not fair. It could be, like you said, it's a cutthroat business. So, I wouldn't expect that necessarily. That would have been, in my estimation, a humane thing to do, but that's just life, man.
Kerry, do you feel that you were somewhat misled by management to believe that you were going to be at camp, let alone given the situation that you were let go less than a month before training camp begins in June?
I had no indication that I wouldn't be in camp. Like, that was the whole reason of someone restructuring the deal early in the off season was to make sure that I would be there and would be part of the scheme. So that was the indication that I was given for sure.
Chatting with Kerry Carter, formerly of the Montreal Alouettes. Hard to hear that, of course. Very, very well liked, certainly by his teammates and also by the fans here. So Kerry Carter, of course, on Twitter.com. Kerry, I wanted to ask you as well, have you spoken to Coach Trestman in the last few days?
Well, I actually just got back into town yesterday, so I have not spoken with Coach Trestman as yet. But I mean, I've spoken with the running back coach, and I'm sure I'll speak to Coach Trestman within the next 24 hours or so, and hear what they have to say. I mean, there's not really a lot to be said now. I have a good relationship with those guys, regardless, even outside of football. So a lot of respect for them as coaches and whatnot. So I would think they have the same respect for me to make sure that this thing happens the right way, or at least in a way that is respectful and is understanding to both sides. So I'm sure we'll have that conversation at some point.